Hello everyone, here I come again with another 10 smart MCQ for your competitive exam, and today our topic is coordination chemistry. You have this chapter in the inorganic portion, so without any delay let us start. You can always pause the video after seeing the question. You can try yourself and then simply check whether you are correct or not. So let us move to the first question. An octahedral complex of cobalt 3 plus with molecular formula COClXYNH3 gives a total of 3 ions when dissolved in water. How many chlorines are satisfying both primary and secondary valency? So first of all, this is an octahedral complex and it is giving 3 ions. So here chlorine and ammonia can become the ligands. But for the counter ion, only anionic ligand is here, chlorine. So out of the 3 ions, 2 will be the counter ion chloride and 1 will be the complex ion. So first come to the structure. You will have a complex ion of cobalt and you will have Cl2. Then you will have total 3 ions, one is the complex ion and 2 chloride ions. Now since it is an octahedral complex, so total 6 ligands will be there inside the third bracket, since all are monodentate ligand here, only ammonia and chlorine. Now it is a cobalt 3 plus complex, so the total anionic charge for the 2 chloride ion is -2, so the complex ion must be +2. But cobalt is +3, so we need 1 chloride ion, that means CO and 1 Cl will be there, so that the complex ion become +2 and from the counter ion 2 chloride -2, so the complex become as a whole neutral. So 5 ligands remaining, so remaining 5 ligand NH3 whole 5. So this will be the formula of the complex, CONH3 whole 5 Cl, and outside you will have Cl2. Now for this complex, the ligand chlorine is this one and these two are counter ion. We know counter ion satisfy only primary valency, but anionic ligand, they satisfy both primary and secondary. So here we can say only 1 chlorine is there which is satisfying both primary and secondary valency of the cobalt 3 plus. So the correct answer is option B, that is 1. Let us move to the next question. The value of spin only magnetic moment for one of the following in octahedral field is 2.84 bm. The correct one is. So here we have a trick. The magnetic moment is 2.84. So take the next nearest whole number, that is 3. Then square it, 3 square, you will get 9. Then subtract 1, you will get 8. And 8 can be written as 2 into 4. This is your n into n plus 2. So clearly here n is 2. And the magnetic moment is √8. You just simply find the square root of 8, you will get the value 2.84. This is a shortcut technique. Take the next whole number, square it, subtract 1 and you will get that number in the form of n into n plus 2. From there you will get n. So basically we need 2 unpaired electrons. Now when it is D5 strong field, the configuration is T2G5 Eg0. T2G5 means unpaired electron will be 1. Then you have D6 weak field. So it will be T2G4 Eg2. So number of unpaired electron becomes 4. Then option C, you have D4 weak field, that is T2G3 Eg1. So here again you get N equals to 4. But if you take D4 strong field, option D, then you get T2G4 Eg0. Two of the electron will remain as paired and remaining two will remain unpaired. So N equals to 2. So the correct option is D here, which has two unpaired electron and giving you magnetic moment 2.84 Bohr magneton. Now come to the next question. Both cobalt 3 plus and platinum 4 plus have a coordination number 6. Which of the following pair of complexes will show approximately the same electrical conductance for their 0.001 molar aqueous solution? Now same conductance for same concentration, that means the chemistry here is number of ions will be same. The slight difference of conductance will be due to the difference in mobility of the ions. That is why it is written approximately the same. But if number of ions is same for the same concentration, the conductance will be almost same. So we have to check where the number of ions are same. Now if you take option A, it is written octahedral complex, coordination number 6, so octahedral complex. So the first complex will be, since ammonia cannot become counter ion, so it will be NH3,4Cl2 and 1 Cl outside, and for the platinum complex it will be PtNH3 since ammonia cannot become any counter ion, so it will be Cl2 and outside 2Cl. So you can see that here number of ions for the first complex is 2, for the second complex it is 3. So option A cannot be the answer. Now come for option B. For the first complex it will be NH3,3Cl3. It is a neutral complex, no ion. But for the platinum complex it will be PtNH3,5Cl and outside bracket Cl3. So it will give 4 ion, it will give 0 ion. So B is not also the correct answer. Now come to C. So it will be CONH3,6 Cl3. So total 4 ion, and here it will be PtNH3,5 Cl3. So again 4 ions. So option C is the correct answer. You can check for D also. For D, for the first complex it will be 4 ions, but for the second complex it will be 2 ions. For the second complex it will be PtNH3,3 Cl3 and outside only 1 Cl. So correct answer is C. Next question. Which of the following configuration can have two degenerate electronic arrangements in octahedral ligand field? So if you take T2G and Eg, this is your T2G and this is your Eg. Now option A is T2G6 Eg1. So first you give T2G6. Now Eg1, you have two options for Eg1. Either you can give the electron here or in the other orbital. So option A can have two configuration. T2G will be 6. Then for the Eg part you can have dx square minus y square 1, dz square 0, or you can have dx square minus y square 0 and dz square 1. So it can have two degenerate configuration. For option B, similarly the T2G6 part is constant, but for the Eg3 part you can have two degenerate configuration. One is dx square minus y square 2 and dz square 1. Another degenerate configuration is dx square minus y square 1 dz square 2. And come to option C, it is Eg0 but T2G5. Now T2G5, it can be in three ways. This is one configuration, this is another one, and this is another one. So Option C can also have 3 degenerate configuration. Okay, so in the question it should be written can have degenerate electronic arrangements. It is written 2 should not be there. In that case C cannot be the answer. So the final answer will be option D, all of these. All of these can have degenerate electronic configuration. Option C will have 3 degenerate configuration. A and B will have 2 degenerate configurations, which later you will see in higher studies that this degeneracy in configuration leads to the famous phenomena Young-Taylor distortion of molecule. Come to the next question. Which of the following carbonyl will have the strongest CO bond? This is related to synergic interaction. So synergic interaction, you just see the theoretical part of synergic interaction. Here the things which will be required: greater the oxidation state of metal, greater the oxidation state of metal or higher oxidation state of metal, less pi back donation to carbonyl, less pi back donation to carbonyl. Now you know in synergic interaction this pi back donation goes to the pi star antibonding molecular orbital of the carbonyl. That means it decreases the bond order of the CO bond. If pi back donation is good, then the bond order of CO bond decreases. So if pi back donation is less, that means the bond order will not decrease that much, so CO bond becomes strong. And if pi back donation is less, that means the metal carbon bond is weak. The question comes in two forms. Sometimes they ask the strongest metal carbon bond or weakest metal carbon bond, or they ask strongest CO bond or weakest CO bond. So the thing is, if the oxidation state is higher, it will lead to less pi back donation. Less pi back donation means the bond order of CO bond will remain high, so CO bond will be strong and metal carbon bond will be weak. So here you can see the highest oxidation state is for manganese, it is +1. For option B, chromium is in 0 oxidation state. Option C, vanadium is in -1 oxidation state. Option D, iron is in 0 oxidation state. So highest oxidation state here for manganese, so that will give less pi back donation. That means the carbon oxygen bond will be strongest there. Next question. Chelate complexes are highly stable because formation of chelate ring is favored by entropy, favored by enthalpy, favored by both enthalpy and entropy, none of these. Now see, if I take these two complex, any metal NH3 whole 6 and another complex metal En whole 3, both octahedral complex. So basically in both these complexes, what are the bonds that are formed? That are formed basically between metal and nitrogen. Not only that, sp3 nitrogen, be it Men whole 3 ethylene diamine or MnH3 whole 6, all the bonds are between, all the coordinate bonds are between metal and sp3 hybridized nitrogen. So there will not be much difference in the bond energy for the coordinate bonds of these two complexes. Okay, negligible difference in bond energy, negligible difference in bond energy or bond dissociation energy. But we know that this is a chelate complex and this is highly stable compared to the non-chelate complex MnH3 whole 6. This is non-chelate. So we know stability is related to delta G. Delta G equals to delta H minus T delta S. Now for these two complexes, the delta H factor is almost same, but the complex, the chelate complex is highly stable compared to the non-chelate. So this difference, this huge difference in delta G must be due to the delta S factor. That means the chelate effect that we say chelate complexes are highly stable compared to non-chelate, The reason behind this high stability is entropy, not enthalpy. So the Chillet effect is solely guided by entropy but not enthalpy. Move to the next question. The CFSE value of an octahedral complex is minus 0.6 delta O. If metal ion is surrounded by weak ligands, the magnetic moment can be. So if you take D1 system, then it will be T2G1 Eg0, and in that case CFSE will be minus 0.4 delta O, because you know the T2G orbitals 0.4 delta O stabilized and the Eg orbitals are 0.6 destabilized. T2G orbitals minus 0.4 delta O and Eg orbitals 0.6 delta O destabilized. So here we have only one electron in the T2G, so CFSE comes like this. If you take D2, it will be T2G2 Eg0 under weak field. So CFSE will be 2 into minus 0.4, so minus 0.8 delta O. For D3 similarly, it will be T2G3 Eg0. So CFSE will be minus 1.2 delta O. Now come to the D4 configuration. Under weak field, it will be T2G3 Eg1. So for the 3 T2G electron, it will be minus 1.2 delta O, and for the 1 Eg electron, it will be plus 0.6 delta O, giving you ultimately minus 0.6 delta O, which is matching with our given CFSE value. So in this configuration T2G3 Eg1, there are 4 unpaired electrons. So magnetic moment will be root over 4 into 6, that is root 24, and that will be a little less than 5, that means 4.9 bm. So this is matching, so option A. If you check in this way, you will see if the configuration is D9. In D9 configuration also, it is T2G6 Eg3, so CFSE 6 into minus 4, that is minus 2.4 delta O, and 3 into plus 0.6, that is 1.8 delta O. So the delta O value is again minus 0.6 delta O here, CFSE value. So the CFSE value for D9 system will also match. But in D9 system T2G6 Eg3, if you calculate the number of unpaired electron, so in T2G6 there is no unpaired, in Eg3 there is only one unpaired. In that case, the magnetic moment will come 1.73 bm, which is not an option here. So here the answer is simply 4.9 bm. Move to the next question. The CFSE for this complex is 18,000 centimeter inverse, the CFSE for this. Now you remember, the theory is for same metal ion, same ligand, if this is the thing, then delta O, that is CFSE of octahedral complex, and delta T, that is CFSE of tetrahedral complex. CFSE of tetrahedral complex for same metal ion and ligand, and here it is CFSE of octahedral complex. The relation is delta T equals to 4 by 9 delta O. So here it will be simply 18,000 into 4 by 9, and that is 8,000. Energy is expressed in terms of centimeter inverse because this is the unit of 1 by lambda, 1 by wavelength, and you know energy is equals to hc by lambda, where c is the velocity of light, so E varies with 1 by lambda. So if E value is 4.9 times, then 1 by lambda value will be also 4 by 9 times. So the answer is 8000 centimeter inverse. Next, in a complex, the metal is bonded to all different monodentate ligands and does not show optical isomerism, possible hybridization. So here for the option A and B, sp3d2 or d2sp3, that means octahedral complex. So all different monodentate ligands, so the complex will look like this, and the ligands are all different, so take them as A, B, C, D, E, F. So clearly for this complex you cannot find any plane of symmetry, no plane of symmetry, no center of symmetry. This is purely a chiral molecule, so it will give you optical isomer. Because it is optically active compound, so must be giving optical isomers. Now for DsP2, you know this is a square planar complex. So square planar complex, initially it may look that this is chiral, but remember, in this world, any planar molecule in this world is optically inactive. Why? Since it is planar, that means the molecular plane where the molecule is residing, that molecular plane itself is a plane of symmetry. Above the molecular plane there is vacant, below the molecular plane also it is vacant. So molecular plane itself acts as plane of symmetry, so it cannot have optically active isomer, and hence DsP2 hybridization, that is a square planar complex, cannot have any optical isomer. For sp3, that is well known to you in organic chemistry, especially carbon having 4 different, that is chiral center, and that leads to optical isomerism. So here the correct answer is C, DsP2. And now the last question exhibits what type of isomerism. So here you can see the type of complex is MA4B2. So clearly we can get geometrical isomerism for the octahedral complex. This will be the trans isomer. The 2B are at transposition, and the cis isomer will be where the 2B will be at cis position. So geometrical isomer it will show. Now this NO2 ligand, this is an ambidentate ligand. It can bond through ONO or it can bond through nitro. So since it is an ambidentate ligand, so linkage isomer is possible here. If it bond through nitrogen or if it bond through oxygen, you will get simply linkage isomer. Here you are getting geometrical isomer cis trans. And next, in this complex the counter ion is chlorine, and inside you have NO2 minus. So if they exchange with each other, then you will get simply ionization isomer. Just take the chlorine inside as a ligand and take one of the NO2 outside as a nitrite ion. So it will simply give you the ionization isomer. So the 3 types of isomer this complex can show, that is linkage, ionization and geometrical. That means option C is the answer. So here we complete the 10 MCQ. I hope you find this helpful. In our next video, we will come with another 10 smart MCQ for some other chapter. Stay tuned, and if you really find these discussions helpful, then please do like, comment, share and subscribe. And I wish you everyone all the best for your upcoming NEET or GMAINS or any other competitive exam. Thank you.